Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. As always, a couple of reminders that I am not your financial advisor, and we never, ever give you investment advice on this channel. With that said, if you're new, thank you for showing up and taking part in viewing what's going on here in the Dexscreener series. Not sure where you came from, but either way, we're happy that you're here. Now, make sure if you are new to go back to the first day of the series. That way you can kind of just, hear the introductions and kind of know, how things are going to flow in terms of the series. Now, of course, if you have been somebody following us from the beginning or you found us somewhere along the way, definitely happy to have you here supporting the channel and, just showing up to learn, as far as what's going on in the Dexscreener series and to discover some new opportunities as we go ahead and get into the discovery portion of the video where we set up some filters and see what's going on Dexscreener for that day. With that being said, we don't have a ton to go over in terms of review, but we'll go ahead and definitely do some review, and then we'll get into the filters and see what's going on. So let's talk about Dream here. We talked about this one yesterday, Dream Big 2025. So of course, this is a New Year's, type or oriented token. If we go back to our filters, let's go back to our filters, or not filters, but the alerts, and let's find out, where Dream was. We'll see recently triggered. Let's see here. Let's find Dream. So here we go. Let's take a quick look at the chart. What's going on here? So, because we want to find out when this one was, when we set this one up. So we set this one up. You can see here in the posted market cap. Here in the notes area, we found this one at 90K yesterday. And so we set a couple, of alerts, to go ahead and go off, if it went over 105 and if it dropped, under 75. Now, both of these did trigger. So you can see that as indicated here, labeled disabled. If you're new, to the series, anytime we set up alerts, if it says it's disabled, it means it did trigger at the threshold that we set it at. Okay, and we'll go ahead and we'll talk about alerts throughout this video. But with that being said, this was an early find, and obviously, what's the whole point of the series? The whole point of the series is we want to find tokens early. We want to do that without the help of going through another Cole or another influencer, because by the time they've gone ahead and said something to you, it's already a bit late, in terms of a more ideal entry for you, more than likely, right? So that's, what we're trying to go ahead and do throughout the series. And there have been several examples, just like this one, where we found something early and it went ahead and it made some moves on the market cap. Now, obviously, we would love to find a chill guy token, where we find it early and it just explodes into the hundreds of millions on the market cap. But, those are your unicorns. We're not always going to find those, but if we can find something that's going to do a 2x, a 3x, a 10x, we're going to take those gains, right? So either way, we found this one at 90K. We can see here, I went ahead and I took a screenshot, here when it was at 286. And even there, this wasn't the high. I mean, I think, looking at this, when you look at, the peak here and you look at the peak here, it did surpass its all-time high. So we found this, and let's go back here so we can see. Actually, I want to get the image. Okay, so this right now, this is showing 05904, but let me go ahead and pause this real quick because I want to actually get the actual price, where we found it on the video. So I'm going to pause this real quick so I can get that information for you. Okay, so I went back and it looks like we found this at 0.002255 at like just after 6 minutes in the video where we found this one, I think, it was either yesterday or the day before. But I think it was yesterday. But either way, with that being said, we found this one early. This one obviously, so this was down in this area. So this one obviously has made some moves, since then, but it did also retrace since the time that we found it, because today's the 31st. And we found this one on the 30th. So again, we found it, somewhere in this area. It went ahead and it hit bottom levels here, and then it went ahead and it took off. So, I mean, there was plenty of time to go ahead and jump into this one, but obviously if you are copying the same alerts that I'm making, as I go through the videos, which, you're more than welcome to do that, or you can set your own, this one, did drop to, like I said, bottom areas, and then it went ahead and took off. So this is another example of, a token where we found early, and there were gains to be made depending on, what your entry point was if you decided to go ahead and jump into the pond, in this one. So we're going to go ahead and close out Dream. But either way, still want to just show you that the chart does look pretty, pretty decent. So we're seeing, some peaks and valleys, but it's still much higher, than, it's still a lot higher than where we found it, which was, under 100K. So we're going to close this one out. I'm not setting new filters, on this one. I might go back in later on after I'm done with the video and adjust that, but I'm not going to touch it right now. So this one, New York Elon, I went ahead and I took a screenshot of this one because I think we found this one under 100K, and, or maybe we didn't. Hold on. So this one, let me go ahead and pause real quick because I want to make sure I get you the right information. Actually, I don't need to do that. We're just going to go ahead and just go into our filters. I got to keep remembering that I don't have to pause to find in the video. I can just go back to the alerts on it. So New York Elon, here we go. Because this one triggered this morning, as far as going over that 125 mark, because I was getting myself ready as I saw this one go off. So if we go to the alerts, we found this one again under 100K, found it at 95. It did obviously go, triggered the under alert at 75K, and it triggered the over alert, like I said this morning, at 125K. Also keep in mind, if you're new, if I'm speaking kind of quickly for you, you have the benefit of being able to go back and rewind essentially, the video, and repeat, just go back over the information that I'm telling you, if you find it a little bit hard to follow, as in terms of the pace that I'm taking. But, like I said, this one, we'll go to the 1 hour here. It took off, it went up, from the bottom level, and then it retraced, which is not unusual. Obviously, you may have had people that were in loss, so they were looking for some buy pressure. They got it, and then they went ahead and they took, mitigated their losses. Or if there was somebody down here, they were in profit, so you just never know. But either way, I still think, this one, it's a Elon-oriented token. It's a New Year's-oriented token. I don't particularly think this one's done yet because, again, you're taking two good, themes and you're basically, turning it into one. Okay. So does it mean it's going to go ahead and take off and get back, into these higher peak levels? That we don't know. Can't ever tell you that with any kind of certainty. And I will never tell you that with any kind of certainty because at the end of the day, we just don't know. But you can set your alerts, as far as indicators to give you some idea in terms of, hey, is it jumping over the threshold that you set, or is it hitting the threshold for the under that you set? And, then taking a look at the community and making some kind of informed decision as to whether you think you want to jump back in, or DCA down, DCA up, whatever it is you want to do, or just simply watch the token to see what's going to happen. You got all kinds of options, in terms of what you're looking at, based on the alerts that you set. So for this one, when we look at, what's going on here, we can see that I set it, to go ahead and take off, or to for the over alert at 125. And I think I mentioned yesterday, I wasn't going to make some kind of huge deviation from the posted market cap. Because again, as we saw on the alert, and if we go back here, the alert, what did we see? We saw 95K was the alert. Now, if I was paying attention when this went under 75, I could have continued to watch it and then maybe, jumped in at that point if I decided to go ahead and participate, or continue to, just kind of monitor or set a new alert, So again, a lot of different options, but the whole idea is we want to watch out for these indicators here in the alerts to see what's the next thing that we want to do. Or maybe the best thing to do at that point is to just jump back into the channel for their Telegram and see what's going on, to see if we can get any kind of sense of where the chart may be going, which is all dependent upon, what's going on in the community channel. So for this one, I'm not going to go ahead and do anything just yet, with the alerts. I'm keeping this window open actually in another browser, just kind of watching this one. So, but yeah, so for the video though, we're not seeing anything terrible. Even on the 24, it says, it's a -40, but it's not bad, right now. This could, even right now at this bottom level, you can see that there were still buys because that's what this little wick is. We're getting some sells, but again, it's still balanced, in my personal opinion for right now. But 50-50, it could go down, it could go up, So I've said many times before, you could go ahead and throw in a few bucks. If it was me and I was interested in this, I could go ahead and throw in a few bucks. And then, as I've mentioned before, Maestro does have that buy dip function. You can go ahead and put in a couple of bucks just to get a buy on the chart. And then that will allow you to set that dip buy alert in Maestro. Remember, that link is in the description. That's the sniper bot, that I tend to prefer to use out of the ones that I've tested. It hasn't given me an issue, in a year of using it. So that's the one that I prefer, out of all the bots that I've tested. But either way, You go ahead and you set that buy dip alert, and you can set it at whatever threshold. So right now this is sitting at 79 or actually 80K. You know, maybe I'm thinking this might actually go ahead and dip down to 70 or 65K before maybe taking off again. I don't know, okay? But again, it's all speculative. But just in case it dips down, I can go ahead and set the bot, you know, for maybe 65K as the threshold. And then I can go ahead and say, maybe I'm going to throw another 10 bucks into it. You know, and so when it hits that threshold, then it will automatically make the buy. The benefit there, as I've mentioned before, is that the bot is now watching the chart for you too, alongside any alerts that you set. You know, so just makes it, you know, easy to go ahead and not have to babysit a chart and still be able to DCA or make buys, you know, to essentially get more tokens, especially if you can get it at a lower entry on the chart. Okay, so we're going to leave this one alone now that I'm done with that. And then Nord AI, this is one that I mentioned that I had seen. We didn't talk about this on video in terms of finding it through the filters, but I had seen this one. And then I decided to go ahead and put it on your radar, you know, in terms of, you know, hey, this looks like it's pretty decent. You know, it's at 1.2. I think I saw it at 1.3. We set an alert on this one. And so the reason why I bring it up is because I said when I brought this token up that I believed that it was going to go down. And you guys know how I feel about, you know, when you see these big candles, I'm not a fan of going ahead and, you know, top blasting the top of a candle. When I'm seeing something like this, I want to wait for retracement. And so even at this level, what was I looking for? I was still looking for more retracement, you know, on this chart. So, and that was, you know, when we look here, this was at 1.2, even at the time that I showed it to you. So what happened? Now, at the time that I took this screenshot, it was at 979. But that's with this buy on the chart, right? So this level here was even lower than that. So all I'm doing is I'm bringing up the fact that I told you guys my feeling about this was I thought it was going to retrace. I wasn't going to be interested in taking entry unless it retraced even further. I think I set the alert at 1 million and it retraced even lower than that, okay? Now this, what I'm showing you here is just some buy pressure, you know, on the chart. So obviously at the lower levels, it's good to see that there was some buy pressure to take this one back up. But my whole point of bringing this up to you is that, you know, hey, you can still do whatever you want. But when I'm looking at these charts and I'm seeing these big buy candles, you know, the reality is it's likely going to come down. No chart that I've ever seen in all the time I've been in crypto has ever continued to just go up. When it's going up, guess what? You got people that came in at these lower levels, you know, so they're loving it, obviously, because it's going up. But they're at some point going to take profit. And when they do, it's going to come back down. So obviously people take profit. That leaves, you know, room for other people to go ahead and jump in. Maybe they haven't taken an entry yet, you know, or for people that have some tokens and they were waiting, you know, for a lower entry to go ahead and pick up some more to increase their overall position in terms of how much supply they hold, you know, in that particular token. So that's just something to think about, you know, as well. So, but with that being said, that's going to cover it, you know, for what I wanted to go ahead and review. I'm going to go ahead and pause real quick, and then we'll come back and we're going to go through and take a look at some filters, see what's going on, you know, in terms of any new tokens today. I think we're going to look at some fresh stuff, you know, so, all right, I'll be back in a minute. All right, guys, so we don't need to do anything in regards to the configuration because I've got my age, 5 minute, 1 hour, 6 hour, 24 hour, and market cap. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the filters, and we're going to look at Solana. So let's take a look at Solana today. Let's see, Radium. Okay. Don't have to do anything with the liquidity, market cap. We're going to go to our standard 50K. And we're going to go out to, since we're just working with one chain right now, let's go out to 500K. Per age, we're going to look at some new stuff. So 1 hour to 10 hours. Again, remember, anytime we're looking at the newest stuff, we're probably going to run into more scams. So that is nothing unusual, but I do want to at least, you know, put that out there for you so that you do understand the likeliness of or the higher likeliness of running into scams is because we're looking at, you know, fresher tokens. So, okay, so we're going to take the 24 hour here. We're going to see what we got going on. All right, so gave us 24 tokens. You know, some of these, you know, look like they're scams. You know, anytime you got this question mark here, and I tend to do this anytime, you know, we see this, just to go ahead and highlight that more than likely they are scams. You know, we don't get any socials, which is pretty commonplace. You know, whenever you are opening tokens that don't have any kind of banner picture, you know, with them. So, and we can see that, you know, this is a straight line up, you know, with some retracement. You know, it's been up for 10 hours, and this is not typical for what you would see for a 10-hour chart. So that's the scam. This one as well. You know, we're looking at no socials. This one's been going for 6 hours, and we can see this is essentially what the chart looks like. You know, this is not typical, you know, for something that's been up for alive for 6 hours. So we're going to move on to take a look at some other stuff. So we're just going to open up, you know, some tokens here. We don't really, for some reason, Maximus seems to be, you know, a word that's trending. You know, it seems to be a meta. You know, certainly on Pump Fund lately. So not really sure what's going on with that, but just highlighting that for you. Okay, so we're going to take a look here. We open up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tokens, and keep in mind that when we come back, this is probably going to adjust because Dexscreener auto adjusts. You know, for stuff that, you know, falls within our filters, falls out of the filters. You know, so just if you're new, just, you know, highlighting that for you. Going to take a look here just at some charts real quick. And we're also going to take a gander, you know, at making sure they've also got a Telegram. This one does not. So if it doesn't have a Telegram, the way I operate when I go through the series, no Telegram, we're not talking about it. All right, so here we get a Telegram. We get the chart. We're on the 15 minutes, so we'll keep this one. AIG, let's go out to the 5 minute. Let's see what's going on here. We also get a Telegram. We'll keep this one. Believe. We talked about a Just Believe token yesterday or the day before, you know, so this one looks like it's different. Going to go out to the 5 minutes, and we get a Twitter and Telegram. We're going to keep this one. This one here, we get a Telegram, no banner image, but we do get a Telegram, so we'll keep it. All right, and then Cacius Maximus. All right, we get Telegram, and we got the chart. We'll keep it. Poe could be maybe the start of a uptrend. Maybe we'll keep it. You know, we get a Telegram here. Normal token, we're going to go out to the 5 minute. This one is one that I have been watching. I just, you know, I found this one through Dexscreener, you know, so yeah, so this is one that I do have open in another browser that I'm currently watching, you know, so I think it went up to, it did go up, you know, to over 300K, and so it's retraced, you know, and it's been kind of up and down, you know, so yeah, this one's one that I have been keeping an eye on personally. So, but with that being said, we'll take a look at what we got open right now, and then we'll go back to Dexscreener, and then we'll see what else is there. So let's go ahead and open up some channels. All right, so here we go. We got a portal here. All right, so let's see what's going on in XRP Trump. All right, so they are automatically, we can see they're doing some rating, which is always, you know, good to see in terms of trying to, you know, get some exposure, more exposure, you know, for the token. Also, what's nice about any kind of rating, especially when you see that the stuff here in the green, it means that the community is participating in the raids. Now, if you're new and you don't know what rating is simply when they say raid, they'll go ahead and they'll give you an X link, a Twitter link, and then essentially what they want you to do, they want you to like the post, retweet the post, reply to the post, or bookmark the post. So I've really talked about this a lot, you know, on the channel in the series, but for new people, you know, if they're going ahead and they're seeing that, you know, hey, what is rating? You know, rating, that's simply what rating is. Okay. So just highlighting that for you. Okay. And then when we go here and we take a look, you know, at some of the pinned messages here, you know, this is just simply highlighting, you know, that they're communicating sometimes with the community. Sometimes we can see some trending stuff here, but we don't really see any trending. All they're doing from what I can see is that they are, or actually, yeah, they are trending. Okay. So didn't see anything in the pinned messages, but they are trending. So they got trending going on, and they've also got rating going on. So that is positive. We do want to go ahead and see that kind of stuff. All right. So we're going to go back out here, and we are going to, let's see, close this out. Now, let's see. So we are going to go ahead and set some alerts for this one. This one's, I don't know. I mean, when I see what's going on here, the first thing that I'm thinking is, instead of just setting one, we'll set two. We'll set an over and we'll set an under. Okay. So for the under, we're going to go straight to market cap, and we're going to go under. We're sitting at 183. We can't really see what's going on here in the rest of the tab. So we'll keep it at 183 in terms of the posted market cap. So here we go, 183. Deviation is not going to be too bad. You know, we'll go and we'll leave it at 150. Okay, on this one. So there we go. We're going to create that alert. And then for the over, 183 again. Here we go. And then we're going to set the over, you know, 200. So not large deviations, you know, from the posted market cap. Give me a minute. All right, guys. So since we've already got our alert set, we're going to go ahead and close this one out. We're going to move over to AIG, and we're going to take a look at what's going on in their channel. So here we go. All right, so we got the portal here, so we can get our link and see what's going on inside the channel. So here we go. Okay, so looks like no trending, but but they do have, okay, yeah, they got trending going on. I don't know why it didn't show before, so maybe I just missed that. But either way, so we got trending going on. Yeah, it didn't show here, but it shows later on. Either way, so we've got a lot of activity. As we can see, buys is constantly coming in. Also got some rating that we saw going on there. What do they got going on here? In the pin messages, okay, number 10 on Dexscreener. So, I mean, I like X Premium, so they're going to pay for that. We can see they're under review, and that usually takes a couple of hours, and they'll go and they'll get their blue check mark there. So, yeah, I mean, seeing some good things going on immediately, just checking into their channel. So for this one, and a lot of stuff going on here in the buy transactions, as well, from what we could see, in the channel and here as it's continuing to come through. So we're going to set, we can set, both of them, an up and an over and an under. I think for the over, it won't be, very large deviation, from where they currently are right here. We can say this is 433. We can see 421. So this one will catch up at some point. So let's set two of them. I'm going to go to the market cap on the under. We're going to go ahead and say this one right now is a 417 according to our tab here. If you're new, there's always a delay between this and what's in the tab. So just be aware of that. But the tab doesn't always, line up real well, with this. Just depends, but you'll see if you see enough of these videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. So we're going to set our posted at 417 on the market cap. All right, so we're going to copy that, and we're going to set this one at, I'm going to set it at 385. Okay, on the under, and then on the over, let's see here. Since we're at closer to 400, we'll set this at 425. 425, for the over. Okay, so there we go. So that's done. So those would be our two indicators, for that one, believe. So when we saw this initially, it was up here, but it is retracing. So going to see what's going on in the channel to get a better idea in terms of what they're doing. So we're going to go ahead and get our link. Okay, so there we go. And let's see. So we got a VC going on, 20 plus members. I like that. That's a good thing to see. All right, so no trending. Okay. So, okay, they're asking though, if they're ready for cherry trending. Who is that? Is that the owner? Okay, so that's the dev. We can see that's the dev. Okay, so go to, okay, they want people to go ahead and click on the rocket on Dexscreener. All right, so, okay, but they're talking about raiding, but I didn't see any raids, so I don't see the raid. All right, but again, they got the VC going, and there's no trending, but they're still getting activity, so if we go back out here, I'm going to close this out, and see big retracement there. Okay, somebody went ahead and just sold almost $4 grand. So okay, but we can see that there is some buys returning, but I would imagine it's probably going to go ahead and see more retracement. So we're going to go ahead and set the under and over. So this one goes straight to market cap under, and we're looking at 202 or 208. Okay, because you can see in the tab here it'll catch up. So setting this at 208K. All right, now it's under 2. Okay, so for this one, for the under, I think this could hit 150, but we'll see. It really just depends on what the buy pressure looks like, as it comes back, because of the retracement so far. All right, so there's the under, and then for the over, since we're going to keep this at 208, we'll put it at the tab is saying 195, so we're going to say 220. That's going to be our indicator for the over. All right, so there we go. That's done. I'm going to close this one out. And then here for My Brain AI agents, all right, we can see some buy pressure here. Let's go into the channel. Let's see what we got going on. All right, so we do get, I don't know, this might that portal that we're seeing, it looks like this is actually the channel. So it doesn't look like we actually need to go ahead and click on any of those portal links, okay? Because if you click join, I'm guessing it just automatically lets you in. So I'm not really, I don't think I saw any trending. So I don't see any evidence of trending. I don't see any evidence of rating. So for this one, let's see what's going on here. And then we don't have much going on here in pinned messages, so I would imagine we're going to probably see some retracement on this. I think this buy candle here is going to be short-lived. So I'm not looking for an over alert. I'm looking just for an under alert on this one. So we're going straight to market cap. I'm going under, sitting at 254. So 254, and that's just going by what I'm seeing in the tab. So 254, 54K, and I'm going to actually put this at 190K for my indicator on this one. Okay, so that is a larger deviation, but I think it's coming down. That's just my personal opinion because I don't see anything doing to grow the exposure of the token. So for this one, Kekius Maximus, let's see what's going on in the channel. Let's see this. Immediately we know it's a CTO. So, all right, so let's see here. Okay, so immediately we see that they've got some rating going on. It says more marketing coming up. They've got boosts, okay, so somebody paid for boosts. All right, fatality on Dex ads, okay. Moon Talk, so that's more in terms of marketing. So also keep in mind, if you ever enter a Telegram where they're saying, they got marketing coming up, if you don't see evidence of that, and I'm not just going to go ahead and jump into a token just because they say that they've got marketing coming up. Anybody that's looking to really market the token, they don't have to go ahead and announce, to the community that they've got marketing coming. Either they're going to do it or they're not going to do it. Sometimes you have to understand, especially if you're new to this, is that a community can go ahead and tell you what they've got coming just to bait you into buying into the chart, just to essentially end up rugging you at some point. So the only thing they've got going on that I can see right now in terms of growth and exposure for this particular token is rating. Everything else they said was coming up, so keep in mind, you can always just watch a chart, you can watch a community, and you don't have to, I wouldn't necessarily, because I've made this mistake in the past before, where, they say they've got trending coming, and so you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to go ahead and jump in because trending's coming, and immediately you're thinking, well, trending means that there's going to be more buys coming, but but in the same token, they're saying, trending's coming, they got 5 minutes to go before trending, and then they go ahead and they rug you while all these people went ahead and bought in, thinking that, trending was coming, and trending was never coming. So keep in mind, don't just buy into what a message is saying. You buy into, looking, from an informed position. What's actually going on? What have they done? Not what they say they're going to do. Okay. So that's just a little nugget in terms of, what in terms of even how I operate when I look at some of these charts and communities. I don't necessarily buy into what they say they're going to do. I buy into, what I'm seeing and what they're actually doing, as far as any kind of entries that I make on a chart. So just keep that in mind. So here, this is kind of staying, here, this 177K mark, there's not really any activity. And even if we go, back to that particular, chart, we can see, when was the last buy on this one? It was 11:17, so that was a minute ago. Okay, so there's still some buy activity, okay? But for this one, I'm more interested in an under alert than an over. So for this one, I wouldn't set an over. At least I'm not going to. So for this one, we see we're at 177. That's the posted market cap. I'm going to go ahead and move this one to, 125, as far as the indicator that I'd be looking for. So it may or may not hit it, but we'll see. All right. So this one I said before when we looked at initially could be the start of an uptrend, maybe. It is a higher low than this low. So we're 239 right now on the chart. And this is, the tab's actually saying 250. So, but yeah, we'll see, we'll take a look, at we'll take a look at what's going on in the community, and then we'll come back. But yeah, just showing you that there is a couple of different things going on in terms of what we're seeing in the tab and what we're seeing in that right-hand informational area. So we do see evidence, of rating, okay? And let's see here. Actually, I'm going to go back here. The last buy just came, okay? So anything else going on here? So this one looks like it came from Lion Jungle, just forwarding that they went ahead and they showed this to their community. Almost 2,000 holders. Okay, trending number 9 on Dexscreener. So looks like they've got some Dexscreener, trending a boost, that's here as well that they paid for at some point. And this would have been, sometime in the last hour. So I mean, what I'm seeing here is that it looks like they're invested in this token. They are trying to go ahead and grow some exposure, for this token. So at this point for me, I think it makes sense to go ahead and set an alert. I'm not going to set an, well, let's see here. I'm looking at this and I think I'm more interested, in the uptrend, but I think it does make sense to set both, so we'll set both. We'll go to the market cap here and we're saying we're at 270. So we're at 270. This will catch up. So it says 266 now. We'll set it at 266. 266K on the posted. This is on the over. We're going to set it at 290. Okay, so I want to see it start to try to break out of that area where it's in right now. All right, we're going to go ahead and set this for the under. Okay, it's 266. We're going to set the under at 225. There's always a possibility, even though it's the start of an uptrend, that it could actually go down. So we'll see. All right, so we got that one set. This one, normal people, this one went ahead and this one headed down, dumped, somewhat. All right, so, and then obviously, looking, when we were looking earlier, we could see that my sell transaction on this one, because I did go ahead and take an entry on this one. So you can see that it's almost 60%, on the 1 hour. Do I think this is going to come back up? Maybe. I mean, they hit a high up here, over 340K. So I'm not surprised to see the downtrend, but it's kind of interesting to see that it fell that hard though. Because it wasn't like it was some massive spike, you know what I mean? So yeah, for this one, there's a possibility that this one could still retrace. I think it makes sense to set 2 alerts, so we're going to set an under and an over. So on the under, and we're currently sitting at 103K according to the tab, so 103K. And we're going to set this one at 150, oops, not one. We're going to set this at, let's set it at 80K, okay? So the deviation is not too bad. And for the over, since we're sitting, at that 103, let's set the over at 120. Okay, that way it kind of gives us an idea if it's going to go ahead and start to break out a bit, from the current level. All right, so we're going to close that one out. All right, so let's see what else. We're going to go to the bottom, see what we got going on here. So we're going to open this one up. All right, rock solid investment, open mind. Pritch and self-made. We'll do that one. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we got anything decent. Okay, so no socials here. We're going to close this one out. Rock. All right, nothing there. Let's see, nothing there. In terms of the Telegram, we see a Telegram here, but I'm not really crazy about this chart. But we'll keep it. Okay, and this one, we're all the same. We do get a Telegram. So we'll take a look at these two. Okay, so here, just looking at the chart right away, the only alert I'd be interested in setting on this one will be an under. All right, so we're going to, and if you've ever seen, I do like this meme, where I've seen a lot of different messages associated with this one, but I do like, what the message is here, never give up, because you never know how close you are to actually, getting to the goal that you're trying to reach. Okay, so, all right, so we're going to close that out, but let's take a look and see what's going on in the channel. Okay, so we do get a portal here. So let's see. All right, 233 members in here. Last buy was at 11:22, so that was a minute ago. Okay, so is there any evidence, of rating? Okay, all right. So they're saying you're pre-rich. Okay, so I mean, there's some decent activity in terms of buys. What they got going on here in pinned messages? Not really much going on here in pinned messages, So yeah, I mean, even though there are buys, there's nothing going on to go ahead and to grow the presence of the token so that you actually get more organic, buyers in here, or buyers in here, from other platforms, So, and they do, okay, so I will take that back. They do have a boost going on. So the boost is still alive, so that is, I mean, that's them, doing something to go ahead and grow the token. So we didn't see that in the Telegram, but we see it here as far as the boost is concerned. So yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll set an alert, but the only alert that I'm interested in setting is going to be an under because of where the candle is currently on the chart. So we're sitting at 123 according, to the tab. It's 123K. So there we are. And for the under, we're actually going to set this. I'm going to set this at a pretty decent deviation, which is going to be at 75K. All right. Don't know if it'll get there, but we're going to see it. We're going to see what happens. And we're all the same. Let's go ahead and let's check out the channel. So here we go. We don't necessarily need, we don't have a portal here. So this is the channel. All right. So there is evidence of raiding. We got some good activity in this one for the raids, so I mean, anytime you can get, in the neighborhood of 40 likes, and everything's over 10, in terms of what they're looking for in terms of the raid, and they're making good progress, on this raid, because this is the progress indicator. So no other pin messages. I've been clicking on this, and so this is the only thing they've got, in terms of their pin message, so the only thing they're doing to grow this one is their rating. Okay, so let's go back, here. I'm going to close this out. And that could also, so the raid, and they've got a small boost. All right, so nothing that we saw in the channel, but we can see it here that this is evidence, of somebody paying for the boost. It's a small boost. It's not very big, but the boost is still a boost, right? So, but right now we're currently in retracement, minus 20 on the 1 hour. So I think I'd be interested in setting 2 on this one because it could retrace further. And it could also start to go back up since a boost is live. So we're going to go ahead and look here. We're at 175 is the posted market cap. So here we go, 175K. And we're going to go to market cap here. It goes under. Let's go ahead and let's set this one at 140. And remember, guys, there's no cookie cutter, way to do this. I mean, you just kind of have to play with, what you think the deviation should be based on what you're seeing. So that's what I do. You can copy my alerts or you can set your own. It's up to you. But this is the under that I'm going to set. And we're going to go ahead and set an over. So 175. And the over on this one, we just need a small indicator to let us know what direction this is going in. So if it's going to start to head up, I think setting this at, 200 would be enough of an indicator to get my attention on this one again. So we're going to set that there, and that takes us, through some tokens, that we're going to go ahead and take a look at today, on the Solana chain here in the Dexscreener series. So with that being said, I'm going to close out this video for today. I thank you again so much for continuing to follow along. Hope you guys are getting some value, out of what we're going, looking at, through the Dexscreener series, and hope you guys continue to follow along as we continue to make new discoveries as we engage the Dexscreener platform. As always, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you consider subscribing. I've made a number of community announcements that are broadcasted to the community, and those alerts go to the subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, you don't get those alerts. And those alerts are me communicating, while I'm, outside of my home, someplace else, for the New Year's, that if I get a chance to go ahead and, create a video, I can go ahead and communicate to anybody that's subscribed, what's going on and whether I'm going to be able to do that or not. But, that's just one of the benefits of being subscribed to get those notifications. So got a lot of people that are watching these videos that are not yet subscribed. So please consider subscribing so you can also be notified when new content is released to the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and you guys enjoy the day.